Jewish-American comedian Zach Sage Fox decided that he wanted to take a trip to Israel. But this wasn't the typical Jew goes to the Holy Land trip. No, he went to the streets of the occupied West Bank and specifically the Palestinian city of Ramallah. He, in his own words, almost didn't make it out alive after asking local residents what they thought of Hamas, October 7th, and Israel's right to exist.
Are you supportive of Hamas?
Yes.
Yes, of course.
Yes.
Are most Palestinians?
Yeah.
Palestinian people like Hamas.
I'm with the resistance.
Did you see the videos they posted of what they did on October 7th?
Everything.
And you're okay with all that?
With everything they did.
They killed innocent Israelis. They killed... Yes,
No.
they did.
No.
Yes, they did.
Give me a picture for rape.
Britain brought all the criminal Jews since 1948.
They can go back. Holanda, Iraq.
Most of those places they were kicked out of.
Jews have not been killed or exposed to any struggle or any violence.
In the U.S., it's a big movement right now. Queers for Palestine. Are you supportive of that?
No, we don't have it.
You don't have gay people here?
No.
No. No.
It's like an alien. It would not be accepted.
No, to be honest with you, no.
Do you want to live with the Israelis in peace? Or
No. I want one state solution. No Israel.
So no more Israel?
Yes.
Israel wiped off the map.
فلسطين فقط.
We should delete Israel.
So you would not be okay with a two-state solution?
Of course not.
Now, he wasn't going around telling them he was Jewish either. Back in the United States and joining us now is comedian and social media influencer Zach Sage Fox. Zach, thanks a lot for coming on the program. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for having me, Dan.
What led you to even do this?
Okay, so yeah, I've been making videos since October 7th. I think the silence of Hollywood definitely ignited me. I run a production company in the city. My business partner is Israeli. We actually went to Jewish day school together. We've known each other since we were 6. And so we've been super active since October 7th. And you know, I've been able to do as much as I can on the streets of America, but at a certain point, I wanted to go to Israel and start doing content there. So I get there, and my Israeli producer on the first day tells me he has an opportunity for me to actually go to the West Bank. And at first, I was confused because I thought that you couldn't just go to Palestine. And that my assumption that you couldn't go to Palestine was because I haven't seen much journalism coming out of Palestine. And so when I found out I had the opportunity as an American, and that it's specifically Israelis that aren't allowed over there. I was told as long as I didn't say I was Jewish, it's not like it says it on my passport, I was told to just say I was Italian, and luckily I passed. So I took the opportunity. Personally, I don't get super afraid of things. That's kind of my gift. And so I thought I had the opportunity to ask the questions that we're all here sitting in America wanting to ask them.
Well, you know, look, the people you interviewed, they looked pretty approachable, engaging, but what does it mean that you almost didn't get out of there alive?
It was pretty crazy. So basically, my producer arranged for a sit-down interview with the man you see in the coffee shop. I have more that I'll be releasing of that. I spoke with him for about an hour. And then when we hit the streets, it was just about 30, 45 minutes until really it started getting into actual chaos. Just by asking questions to a woman, Palestinian men started getting very angry. We shouldn't be speaking to a woman. It's immodest for her to be speaking on camera to give her opinion. And they started threatening us with violence if we didn't delete the footage. I tried to keep going on with my business. I had never faced anything like that in my life, and I've been doing street interviews since I was 14 years old on YouTube. So I tried as hard as I could to keep the ship going, but at a certain point, he started bringing more Muslim men over, more Palestinians, and they're screaming in Arabic, and my translator tells us that they're threatening to actually kill us if we don't delete the footage. So at a certain point, we deleted a bunch of stuff in front of them. Luckily, we were able to leave with some of it and have IT people retrieve some more of it post. But unfortunately, we did lose some interviews that were just similar to what you saw before. But we actually had to literally run out of Palestine. It was literally a run for our lives at the end. It was pretty shocking. But luckily, just the interviews you're able to see, I think, is a pretty good consensus, about a dozen or so. I couldn't find a single person who wasn't not only a supporter of Hamas, but had deep love and admiration for Hamas. And that was shocking to me. I'd seen it in polls, but to actually hear it yourself and to hear how much it's in their hearts that Jews steal and are evil and have never gone through any harm or violence in their life. Everyone said that. I mean, that's like Holocaust denialism at a certain point. So, you know, I was left with a video that I wasn't excited to put out, but at the same time, I felt like I'd captured real journalism that the world needs to see. So that if we do get to peace, we have to be honest about the reality on the ground.
Well, and it was very much edited, right? And you're going to have critics who are going to say, oh, come on, you cut out a lot of the more rational interviewees, et cetera, who condemned Hamas, et cetera. Was there any of that?
No. I really couldn't. I think the most moderate person you see in there says that we have to look at the bigger picture. I wouldn't say that guy had, he wasn't like in love with Hamas, like, they're Taylor Swift or anything, but even that person who was a Palestinian American, he wouldn't denounce Hamas. And I think that's pretty eye-opening.
I want to play one more clip because it also shows a lack of exposure to facts. Let's listen.
From Gaza. They was smiling.
You think that these people are genuinely smiling after being held hostage? They're scared for their life.
Who put this in your brain?
Nothing's named Israel.
There's nothing named Israel?
Yeah.
The Quran mentions Israel over 100 times.
Is Palestine mentioned in the Quran?
No. So Hamas implements strict Sharia law. It looks like in Ramallah, at least, you're free to show your hair. Would you want Hamas to be in charge?
They would allow for elections.
But
Why
they
not?
haven't had elections in Gaza in 20 years. That's a fact.
Maybe people there want them.
And to be clear, the people you were talking to were highly educated.
Yeah, I mean, we're in Ramallah, so this is like the most, liberal part of Palestine. Women can show their hair. Most don't, but you can. There are some bars. Most don't drink, but, this is the most moderate people you're going to find. The man I sat down with at a coffee shop, he had a master's degree. So it's interesting. The clips you just showed, I think, are so important because if anything, though, the little glimpse of hope you can take from this is that it is true just indoctrination. Like, I have nothing but love in my heart for Palestinians and all people. People on the streets of America are chanting free Palestine without understanding anything. Palestine can't be freed unless there's freedom of thought. These guys are being hid from reality, hid from facts, and because of that, they're trapped in a cycle where Israel has offered 8 peace deals over the last 75 years, and every single one of them has been rejected because these people are trying to live back like it's 1948. That's what they're being taught. And at a certain point, if you think Jews steal and have never had harm done to them, then, these cycles are just going to keep continuing.
Zach Sage Fox, thanks a lot for coming on the program.
Thanks so much for having me, Dan.
Appreciate it. Fascinating
Thanks so much,
stuff.
guys.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.